internal state affects external state. My internal state growing up was trash. So I developed a porn addiction at the age of 12, and it ruined my life ever since. It was so bad to the point that I wanted to commit suicide. I did not want to live on this earth for another minute. It was just disgusting to look at myself in the mirror and say, this is Nick Drivas. This is who you are. I just growing up, I was very antisocial as well. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to be involved in any sort of activities. I would just run to the porn as a scapegoat for what I was going through, if it was any goal even that I would try to chase. And it left me hopeless because I never attained any amount of success really when I was chasing pleasure over my purpose.
Welcome to Linda's Corner, where we bring more hope, healing, and happiness to the world. My name is Linda Bjork, and today we're going to be talking about addictions, hope, and personal development. I'm delighted to welcome Nick Drivas. Nick is an online fitness coach and a victor over porn addiction. You can reach Nick by direct messaging him through Instagram, and I'll include a link in the show notes. Welcome, Nick. I'm so glad that you could join with me today.
Thank you, Linda. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. And Nick, when people look at you, they're going to see this toned, fit, good-looking guy. And these are some obvious external, victories that everybody can see. But you also have some internal victories that not everybody can see. So let's start from the inside out. And then let's talk about how those two things can interrelate and help each other.
100%. I want to say first, is internal state affects external state. My internal state growing up was trash. So I developed a porn addiction at the age of 12, and it ruined my life ever since. It was so bad to the point that I wanted to commit suicide. I did not want to live on this earth for another minute. It was just disgusting to look at myself in the mirror and say, this is Nick Drivas. This is who you are. I just growing up, I was very antisocial as well. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to be involved in any sort of activities. I would just run to the porn as a scapegoat for what I was going through, if it was any goal even that I would try to chase. And it left me hopeless because I never attained any amount of success really when I was chasing pleasure over my purpose. So for me, throughout my high school years, it was basketball. That the big dream was the NBA. And I never was on any sort of like organization, basketball league or anything. I just played in the street all day. And I would run to the porn, like I would work out all the time. I would do all the drills, everything. But I would run to the porn to make me feel something and to cope with me not making the team, because that's what kept happening. I kept coming up short, kept like last cuts. I would always come up way short. The cut to the team, I would never make it. And it was because I lacked that confidence. And that came from me going to the porn constantly, not believing in myself. That's my main thing. I had the pressure. I didn't have the heat. So it's heat and pressure you need to become successful in anything that you do. So the heat is the belief and the faith of what you're going after. And then the pressure is the actual work, the action that you need. I always had action with what I was doing. I never had true belief in myself. And that was because I would constantly use vices to cope with me not attaining that goal. And just growing up, I didn't have much self-belief overall in myself. And it left me disgusting. You can hear in my throat, like how much pain just going back to all these memories it brings up for myself. But I have to tell the story because it's so real and so genuine and authentic for everybody to hear today. And I just really messed up my life to the point that I didn't want to be here. I was depressed. I was weak. I was lonely. I didn't have anybody. I'm 23 now. So I'm 19 over the years. I'm going through it. Nothing's working. I try YouTube. I try going on TikTok. I blow up on TikTok. I gained like 700,000 followers. This is like right before we go into lockdown, and it happens again. So I'm on purpose mode. I'm going hard. I gain some sort of success, but it's fake. It's like I only get like $1,200 for like a month of income, and nothing else is coming in. I fall off. My diet is destroyed, and mindset is destroyed as well. Again, all these negative feelings, all these negative emotions come back up after being on purpose, because it's always purpose over pleasure. So I finally found something, but then it all just got sucked away real quick, and it wasn't built properly. So I decide, I'm like, I'm just gonna run right back to the porn, run back to the bad food constantly over and over again. I'm just feeling like a worthless, just nasty person. I'm lashing out at people. I'm disgusted with myself when I look at myself in the mirror, not confident when I go out in public, not being around people. And it just left me hopeless. And so I had a lot of spikes, a lot of ups and downs with everything that I was doing. Also at this point, I'm not in school. So I dropped out of school when I was 19, right? And then also no job. So I was like, just everything. I had no job. I had 2 jobs throughout my high school years. And then I'm trying things. I'm trying all these different things, but I kept using the vice, the porn, because it was still on the porn when it got so bad again after my TikTok blowing up. And I just, again, don't want to be here. I don't want to do anything with my life. And it gets so much worse. I'm doing it now like 2-3 times a day. And I just feel hopeless. I just feel worthless. No confidence whatsoever. I'm not going outside. I'm staying in my bed all day. Nothing's getting done when it comes to my business. I'm trying to run my coaching business. Nothing's coming in. And I try to drown myself in the bathtub. It gets that bad that I don't want to be here. And obviously today I'm still here live in the flesh, and I start just working on myself more. I start investing into myself more. I invest into a coach that told me and showed me the program and the blueprint that was able to save my life.
Wow. Okay, Nick, so many things that you have talked about as you've gone through your story. And I want to be able to cover some of those even a little bit deeper. I am so grateful that you did not take your life and that you continued and found that hope, the thing that you needed. And it's interesting as you try to kind of do things ourselves, which is our natural go-to. It's like, I got this, I got this, I got this. And if I don't have this by myself, then that means I'm a failure, right? And to be able to say, you know what? Actually, I need help. I need some outside assistance because I know what I want to do, and all the things that I have been trying have not been working, not consistently. And you even had that beautiful spike of success. And most people think, everything is going to change when the outside matches what I want, when I have the success, when I have the money, when I have the body, when I have the relationship, when I have whatever it is we're looking for, then all of a sudden everything on the inside is going to be completely at peace and my life is going to be so awesome. And it doesn't work that way. So the inside has to be good too. Now, you also talked about a lot of things for those people who haven't struggled with this particular addiction might think it's not that big of a deal. And here you said, this destroyed my confidence, who I think I am. And yet, even though it feels yucky, it provides that comfort and that relief from feeling yucky, which is so weird because it creates a spiral that just goes down and down and down. So can we talk a little bit more about what does this do to the person who's using it? Why does it make you feel gross and like you're not good enough? Why isn't it just it's not that big of a deal?
Yeah, so I get that a lot. A lot of people, like, even just online, they say all the time, well, it's just porn. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, compared to drinking or drugs. Like, with me, that wasn't my vice. For my vice that I would run to, it would be porn. It was very easy to just start it up, go on, whatever site and start just doing that. And it led me down the rabbit hole real quick. And all these vices, though, I do want to say, are the same thing. They're just in a different like realm of it, of the devil itself, right? And the devil only creeps in when you're in a low vibration. So I was constantly in a low vibration, so I would run to the porn. Like, that was the most easiest thing because it was in my house. Like, there wasn't really alcohol or drugs. I was never also the type of kid that was involved in that scene. If anything, I got secondhand high. So I can't say like, oh, I was a drug addict or whatnot, but they're all the same, like uh coping mechanism or a scapegoat from the current reality that you're currently trying to run away from. You have to run right into the pain in order to level up your life. That's what I had to do in the past 11 months to really level up my life in all areas.
Thank you for bringing that up. Addiction is addiction is addiction. The way that it affects your brain, the way that it affects our pleasure receptors, the way that it changes the way that we feel about ourselves, it is causes the same amount of damage. So I appreciate so much you bringing that up, that this damages the person who is using it. And so that really matters that we understand that. So now I would really like to hear a little bit more about what worked and why. What made the difference from I've tried, and now I did it.
I tried so many different things, especially with different coaches, like what they tried at first, right? So the day that it actually started to change was July 27, 2022. That was the rock bottom, the turning point of my life. I said, I was downstairs in my basement. So I have two bathrooms in my house. And my brain, I don't know, it's weird. This is at the point where I'm doing it like 2 to 3 times a day. So I would get home from the gym and then my upstairs bathroom, like right after, I would go there and do it real quick. And then like a couple hours later, I would be like, okay, let's go downstairs and splatter all over this toilet seat instead. So I'm downstairs, it's around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not doing anything. It's been a very slow day. I already have one tucked under my belt from the upstairs bathroom. I'm like, why don't we go downstairs and do it again? And I release and I'm just looking down just everywhere at the toilet seat. I feel so disgusted and I want to just be like, I just want to throw up. I want to throw up. I'm disgusted. I feel like that very like the feeling when you want to really throw up, but it's not like coming out. That's how I felt. And I was just disgusted so much with myself. And I say, what am I doing with my life? I'm not doing, like, nothing is happening in my life. I'm staying in this house. There's nothing coming in. I have no friends. I have nothing going for myself. I'm a failure, all these things. I need to change. I had that calling in my head, that voice in the back of my head saying, Nick, you got to go to that coach. Because at the time, I knew this coach that I knew could help me. I just wasn't going to it. And in the past, like I said before, I've gone to other coaches specifically in this area of they call it like no fap. It was like a no fap coaching. So where you're not addicted to the porn, but I was still doing it. I lied to him at the time saying like, yo, everything's hunky-dory here, but I was still using the porn. So that didn't work. And then I knew this other coach, so I invested into him. I wrote out the message to him after I was down in that basement looking at the pools of just semen all over. And I'm like, this is it. This is where everything changes. So I made a full commitment from there, paid over $3,000 with this coach to really level up my mindset, to level up my business, to level up my fitness, because I was out of shape too at this point. So throughout my whole journey, I have not been, if you look on my Instagram, I'm ripped as of right now. But my whole life, working out since I was like 12 years old, I was never in shape. Growing up, I was super skinny and then super fat. So at this point, from July 27th and onward, I was really out of shape, like pudgy, like the, if you know the marshmallow guy from Ghostbusters, that's how I looked at this moment in time. So I'm not taking care of myself whatsoever, hygiene wise too. So I knew there was gonna be a massive level up. And when there is ever a level up, it's new levels, new devils. So I knew from the get that this addiction was gonna come in hard, like it was gonna try to test me. So as I was doing my process, so I have a non-negotiable daily process that was taught from this coach that I started immediately. There's things that I give to my guys as well that I was taught from this coach right from the rip, because I have it written down still on my wall. And it's 5 things that you need to hit every single day for you to literally become your absolute best. So it starts with the early morning wake up. Then it goes into some reading, self-reflection, and then it goes into intense workout, and then it goes into your diet. So that's why I had to do every single day, focus on these habits and continue to do this every single day to become 1% better every single day. I had to do this for the past 11 months, and I still do it to this day. And I stick to this program, I stick to the habits, I stick to that discipline, because I know, like, there's days when those tests come, when those devils come my way, and I'm just like, just stick to the program, stick to what got you to where you're at currently. Like, you're only going to go backwards or you're only going to go forwards. And that's what I stick to every single day of what I was taught from that coach, and just not breaking character. That's the main goal.
So some self-discipline, and self-discipline in one area helps us be able to achieve self-discipline in others. So you mentioned with your other coach, you didn't fess up that you also had the porn addiction. You just said, I just want to get fit. With the guy that worked, did you fess up and say, hey, this is another part of my life that I'm struggling with, or did that not matter?
Yeah, so the second coach where I was like, okay, I really need to make a change from looking at myself in the bathroom downstairs and I'm like, I'm disgusted. That coach, I was completely honest with from the get. That's what made the big difference. With that first coach, it was just about the masturbation, and I wasn't completely honest. With this second coach that I was able to get, he was very honest and like a brother. He was a big brother. That was the relationship that we had from the get. And I knew this was going to work because I felt like, oh yeah, like he gets me. So I explained the whole situation to him and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then he just gave me the blueprint, and it's like, okay, you got to do this to level up here because you have this addiction, this vice, and we need to get you here. We need to do XYZ for you to stop thinking like this, acting like this. And eventually all those tests that were coming my way, I'm just like, now as of today, I'm just like, oh, it's just another test. That's fine. We'll be good. Like, we've been hit before. We know how to do this. But at first it was like impossible. I was like freaking out over here. I'm like, like, you know, I want to like go do that real quick. And it was tough at first, but it's just a whole part of the process that I was able to be like, I need to make this change. I have to stay committed to that vision of what he was telling me. That's the other thing too. I was holding my word to my coach. And I do the same now for my guys that are on my team. Yeah.
And now you can be that big brother for somebody else. It's like, I get it. I've been there. And so one of the key things that made the difference between what didn't work and what did work was being honest and saying, here is who I am. Here is what I am. Here is my problem. I'm not going to hide it anymore. I'm not going to hide from it. Let's deal with this. And that is so huge, because a lot of people, they're still in the shame. It's like, I don't want to, can I just pretend that this never happened? Can we just all pretend it didn't happen? And that, it kind of gets you by for a while, but you can't heal, you can't fix it until you say, till you fess up and say, here's who I am, here's what's going on. So I'm proud of you for taking that step. That takes a lot of courage. And then you've taken it a step further where it's not just the confidentiality between you and your coach. You're just getting it out there and saying, hey guys, this is a problem that I dealt with, and it did not make me feel good. Even though it was my go-to comfort, it actually hurt me worse. So now that you know that this is a thing, I can help you too. And that's just so, it's huge. It's empowering. So well done. Well done. Well done, Nick.
Thank you. Personify the teachings and others will wish to learn. So at the time I was trying to run my coaching business as well, but I didn't have any sort of results. Like I was out of shape, how I said, the marshmallow guy from Ghostbusters. That's how I looked, a big blob. That's what I looked like.
And people didn't hire you so they could look like a Ghostbusters Marshmallow Man too? I don't
Who would? Who wants to look like that? So I had to really look inside myself and say, hey, Nick, you got to do work on you first, and then you can show this to others. And that's when everything started to come in more. And I had to focus on what I could control. So what I could control, which anybody that's listening to this can control, is going to be yourself. When you're trying to control what's going on in the world, news, politics, don't focus on that. Focus on what you can control. That's going to be your mindset, your diet, and your physique overall. So fitness, mindset, and nutrition, mind, body, soul connection. That's going to be the best investment when it comes to supplements, coaching, whatever you got to do to make it work in your favor, because then you become unbreakable and undeniable. Because if you're living your best life, everything else is going to change on the surface level, the external, the way you perceive things, the way you look at things, the foods that you're eating. We are what we consume. We are what we take in. So if you're working on yourself every single day, you're going to the gym, you're taking care of your diet, you're watching what you're eating, you're watching your inputs and outputs, who you're surrounding yourself with. Are you around a bunch of losers? Then you're going to be it's like hang around 5 losers, you become the 6. You hang around 5 millionaires, you become the 6. So like hang around a winning circle. And the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So if you're doing it with your diet, your mindset, and your physique, it's going to massively level up in all areas. The people that you're hanging around are going to level up. The confidence that you have in yourself, your belief in everything, the faith, connection above, whatever, if it's God, whatever you believe in, a source. And then also just your business or whatever you're trying to run, it's going to hit all levels. So it worked for me. So definitely just starting with yourself and focusing on what you can control is going to be massive investment and results for yourself. But it's that feeling of self-worth, because I didn't have any confidence. I didn't have nothing going for me. And then I started to just do what I could, do what you can for the moment. And then everything just started to come into fruition. It all started to stack together for myself as I kept doing the work and then not missing every single day.
And how's your self-worth now?
Oh my God, 1,000 million times better. I'm like, yeah.
Well done. Okay, so Nick, if you were able to go back in time and you were able to coach yourself before, what kind of advice would you give? How would you help somebody who's struggling with all of this stuff get out?
The first thing I would definitely say, so for my younger self, is to create the man you admire in all ways and give that man to the world, the man that I am now, and still continue to create along this journey, because I'm making progress. It's just, it's not even, the process or the result I'm talking about, it's more of like the stepping stones I'm noticing at this very moment of us talking and just what I'm going through in my life. It's not the results, like having a six pack and all this. It's who you're becoming along this process, the belief of and how you feel, right? Like it's a bigger thing than just on the external of getting a six pack, having ripped arms, gaining more muscle. That's awesome. Like that should give you the confidence, but it comes from within, right? So that's what I would tell my younger self, is to create that individual, that man or woman, whoever, that is undeniable and unbreakable in all ways, and give that to the world. And how did they do that? That's going to be through the whole process, the stepping stones for you to become that individual. And that comes from within, that internal state, to affect that external state to the world.
Isn't it interesting? So we have the outside steps to affect our inside self, and then it gives us the outside results. But we got to start somewhere, because when we're feeling worthless on the inside, sometimes it's hard to say, well, it starts from the inside out. And you think, well, yeah, my inside sucks. It's garbage. So we have to kind of start taking some steps so that we feel some progress, so that we feel better. Does that make sense? It kind of comes, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like people don't even want to like change their diet just a little tiny bit, or drop that drink, drop the porn, drugs, or anything. Just a small little thing can really tweak everything in your life if your life is not going the way that you want in your favor. Like I had to really just drop everything. I went hard mode. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't watch TV. Like most people, they're watching TV. I'm not. Like these are just little sacrifices. Sacrifices create paradise. So I just sacrifice a lot, and I'm just like, whatever, I'm good. Like and I've came to realize I don't really need it. Like it was also another scapegoat that I was using.
Right. Well
And
done.
yeah,
And
it's
I love
crazy.
that point, that it's just so natural to say, yeah, I don't feel really good inside. And yeah, I'd like my life to be better. Yeah, I'd like some more success. But don't ask me to change. Don't ask me to do anything different. I want to be exactly what I am, doing what I'm doing, and have all of the benefits. And I'm sorry to say, guys, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. We have to be willing to make some changes, take a step, do something different. If you can keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to get the results you've always got. So we need to do something different. So thank you. Nick, is there anything you want to make sure we cover before we close today? And do you want to make sure that people know how to reach you if they'd like to coach with you?
Last thing that I would leave you guys with is literally, if your life is not feeling the way it should be, or there's that voice in your head saying, hey, I need to drop that 20 pounds. I need to make this change in my life, whatever that change may be. I don't feel my absolute best. I don't feel confident. I don't like the way I look. I feel depressed. I feel lonely. Any of these negative internal states that you're receiving, that should be enough for you to make that change, because that's what I kept receiving and I kept ignoring it. And I continued my journey, but I was making no progress. I kept running into brick wall after brick wall. My life was only getting worse. And that's why I wanted to commit suicide, because I felt there was nothing coming my way ever in my life, and nothing was going to come to fruition. And it just led me to more negative self-belief and a negative perspective of the world. And it only made me worse, my internal state from within. So if there's that calling, that voice that is saying, hey, I need to make that change, you have to listen to that voice, go full throttle and make it happen. Do whatever it takes. If you got to go to the bank to get a temporary limit increase to invest into whatever program or whatever the coaching, make it work. Like, do whatever it takes, because this is your life. Like whatever like you're going through, it's only gonna make you so much better if you take that leap of faith, or you're only gonna continue the same path that you've been doing for X amount of weeks, months, years. even. So that's what I would leave you guys with. And for coaching, so what I offer, I help you guys to become your absolute best. So I have two programs. The first one is a fitness, mindset, and nutrition program. This is if you just want to get your diet right, your workouts in order. This is more group focus. So you have 2 calls a week where you're just in with the team and you're in a like-minded environment of people that are on the same journey with you. That has weekly check-ins. I check in with you. It's coming from me and to keep you on progress, to continue to hit your goals. Then I have a elite mindset. This is more one-on-one access with me, right? To really tap into your 10.0 self. So this is where if you have a vice, like a specific addiction, or you're trying to run a business, or you're a busy professional, business owner, whoever, and you have something that's really holding you back and you need that next level up, you need to tap into your mindset to become your absolute best, to really take it to that like top notch, then that's more, again, one-on-one focus, and everything is me. Like you're talking to me and I'm not just sending you off to, somebody on the team you're going to work with. That no, you're working with Nick. That's it. Like, yes, it's me. I'm not like that. So that's more one-on-one focus. And we really dive into like pinpoints of your journey and see how we can really tap into that 10.0 self for you to massively level up. So that's what I did with my coach that made me massively level up so quickly. So I teach the same for you guys.
And for you, that was not an expense. It was an investment. It was an investment. And that is what makes the difference, because investing in ourselves is worth it. It affects every aspect of life. So those who want to reach you, they just direct message you through Instagram, correct? And I will have that link on the show notes. So Nick, thank you so much for visiting with me today.
100%. Thank you for having me on.
In closing, I'd like to share a quote by Ayn Rand. She said, "The world you desire can be won. It exists. It is real. It is possible. It is yours." If you want to improve your fitness or overcome an addiction, please know that it is possible. With some effort and self-discipline, you can have it. See you next time on Linda's Corner. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode of Linda's Corner, please share and subscribe to help us reach new listeners. I also invite you to check out my nonprofit, Hope for Healing, at the website hopeforhealingfoundation.org. I also invite you to grab a copy of one of my books, like Crushed, A Journey Through Depression, or Amazon bestseller, You Got This, an action plan to calm fear, anxiety, worry, and stress. See you next time on Linda's Corner.